scored 100 runs. So the ERA and getting the first player out is an ideal situation.
Now Reagan Shockey slaps that one out of play for strike one. And while she was in the on-deck circle, she was squaring around and she was pretending and practicing to bunt as well. And you already see BYU's defense. Bree Townsend, she is halfway between third and home playing that third base position. And over at first, Maddie Udall-Woolley, she's creeping up as well. And this ball misses outside from Korth, so 1 ball, 1 strike.
Yeah, she was showing slap there, not just a straight bunt.
Shockey's ready. Korth rocks and fires, and she slaps this one gloved by Townsend, who fires over to Udall-Woolley. An easy 5-3 putout. And that's why they play her up so quick.
And BYU did a great job defending that.
So now that'll bring up Kaya Altmaier, the ever dangerous right fielder who takes high from Korth for ball 1. Junior from San Diego, California. Place I like to call God's country. And Korth misses high and outside for ball 2. And with a player like Altmaier, you do not want to miss low and inside. And so you can see Coach Eakin and Korth trying to work that strike zone up away from her sweet spot. But now Korth pitching behind 2-0. And she misses 3 balls and no strikes.
Not really where you want to be here behind the count 3-0.
Altmaier all the way back in the batter's box. That left foot hugging the chalk. And 4 straight pitches, and you could tell that from what we saw in the first 2 batters, it didn't look like Kaysen Korth really wanted to test the waters there with Altmaier. But she's aboard with a walk, and that'll bring up Devin Netz. Devin Netz, surprisingly, in the cleanup spot, the first right-handed batter that Kaysen Korth will see so far today. An off-speed pitch misses low from Korth.
Now.
And we'll see, even though there are 2 outs, we'll see what Altmaier wants to do, or if she shows her cards over at first base. Fastball right down the middle. And Kaysen Korth comes to even the count 1-1. Hometown Sierra Madre, California. Arizona poaching the former Pac-12 territory. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Slapped foul. 1 ball and 2 strikes now for Kaysen Korth. Now Bree Townsend, she's about 5 steps behind the bag at third for BYU. And the whole infield is playing deep. Middle infield, Morrow and Mansfield almost on the grass. Here's the 1-2. Off speed, misses outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Korth looking at her wristband. Getting the plays from Lindy Milkowski. Here's the pitch. Low and in the dirt. Good discipline from Netz. Hard to lay off that thing.
This middle of the order, Arizona is solid. And looks like she's pitching around her a little bit, but did show her a fastball down the middle.
So the count is full now to Netz. Here's the payoff pitch. Big swing. You will grab their bats, and it's their turn to hit. Devin Netz, just one of those all-around athletes. And you see her hitting and pitching. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Slapped up the middle, stabbed by Beal, who fires across to Stoddard. And it's an easy put out for the Wildcats. You know, it's always interesting whenever you're in a game it's such a confidence boost for the leadoff player to be able to get the bat on the ball.
Agreed, and that was a solid hit too. It was just well played by the shortstop of Arizona.
So now here's Nets, her delivery. This one's sent deep and foul, out of play.
The Nets is coming right at him on the mound. Those two fastballs right down the middle there.
Yep, Haley Morrow lifted that one deep into left. The junior from Las Vegas. And here's the 0-1 pitch from Nets. Ooh, off speed. That one comes in there beautifully for strike number 2. Now here's the 0-2 pitch. Ooh, a little faster now. And Morrow barely gets a piece to stay alive. Again, here's another 0-2. This one misses high. Nets bringing the heat. She's making that glove pop. 1 ball, 2 strikes now. Haley Morrow settles in to the batter's box. And Morrow again fouls this one off and stays alive.
She's working that plate inside, outside, high, low. It's all over the place. Very hard to guess what's coming at you next.
Yep. Here's the 1-2. Oh, another off-speed froze Morrow. So Nets getting some revenge against the BYU hitter. First pitch slapped down to third. Sniffin fires across to Stoddard. So 1-2-3 inning for Arizona. And that's how they do things down in Tucson. We'll continue right back. The Batcats strike next. Here's the 1-0 pitch from Korth. And that one comes inside and misses for ball number 2. Here's the 2-0 pitch. A nice off speed. Comes in for strike number 1. And the speed difference between that off speed and the fastball is it's tough. This ball knuckled just over the shortstop's head. Trickles into first base. Morrow couldn't quite get there. Check swing, strike for Kaysen Korth to get ahead of the count. For Miranda Stoddard, the senior from Anaheim, California. And she has an opportunity to try and cash in a run. There's a throw back down to first. The back pick not in time. Good pitch and catch from Milkowski to Udall Woolley. So Stoddard quickly down 0-2. Here's the 0-2 pitch. And Stoddard lifts this one high and deep into center field, and this one's gone! Eric home run U. And that's what they do. And Stoddard just tattooing that ball, giving the Wildcats a 2-0 lead. And that'll bring up Anissa Wild, the freshman, the designated player. And Korth comes in there for a fastball.
Yeah, 8 of the 9 players that are starting here for Arizona have home runs to their names already this year.
That's tough. That is absolutely tough. If you're a pitcher, it's difficult not to be intimidated when you know that. So Korth with the 1-1 pitch. And she misses low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Wild, the hometown freshman, pride of Tucson, Arizona, trying to keep this rally going. Still nobody out here in the top of the second. There's a ground ball. Mansfield has it, fires over to first for the first out of the second. And Korth hits that outside corner for strike one.
Không bị tung tha nữa rồi.
Korth back in the circle. Fires. And misses inside with that changeup.
Mikowski is a pro at framing in that box,
Yeah.
and she should have got that call. She framed it up pretty good. Nice little changeup down low.
The changeup almost looks like it's on a Hot Wheels track. And that fastball misses high. 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, I agree. Now she moved her eyes back high after that low pitch, and let's see what she does right here. We're going to talk it over.
So Milkowski comes out to have a conversation with Korth. And what do you think they're talking about?
Don't make a mistake. We need another out. We need a ground ball right here, and then we'll be out of this inning with two outs. Let's just keep it low. Make sure that they don't get crossed up on any signs right here.
So 2 balls and 1 strike to Sniffen. Korth gets the sign. Here's the pitch. Misses inside. So 3 balls and 1 strike. The middle infield playing back. Corners just about even, if not a little bit deep. This ball slapped into right field. Can of corn for Brittingham, who gets the second out for the Cougars here in the top of the second.
Nhớ khoanh tay xin lỗi mẹ ạ, nhớ chưa?
There from Korth, getting her defense behind her. And this ball slapped to short. Morrow fires over to Udall Woolley, and the Wildcats are retired. But they strike first in the top of the inning. Stoddard with a 2-run blast to see if they can bounce back here in the bottom of the inning. And Nets starts the count with a nice little off-speed pitch. And Lindy Milkowski from Olathe, Kansas, will try and get the Cougars started here. Big swing out in front of that one to foul it down the line for strike number 2.
Yes, she was all over that one right there.
Yeah, if I had a camera inside the booth, I could show you the proof. But there's the hashtag right there, hashtag #HomeRunU for Arizona in their media notes. Here's the 0-2 pitch. This ball fouled all the way back. If it wasn't for that net, that was coming right up here in the booth.
Agreed.
I was ready.
And if anything today, home run U meets ERA U. So
Sure, absolutely. So Milkowski's got a battle here with the 0-2 count. Ooh, dangerous pitch on the outside corner. Milkowski, with laser focus, decides to take that one for a ball. But I guess the benefit to being a catcher.
agreed. You know what calls are going your way on that day.
Here's the 1-2. Milkowski, good eyes, watches that off speed in the dirt. And that's the type of stuff that my coach used to say, lay off the junk. So Milkowski battles back to tie it up, 2-2. Milkowski sends this one high in the air in the gray sky. Not enough. Right before the warning track, Reagan Shockey makes the out.
Another deceiving one off the bat there.
Yeah. And
Bree Townsend batting for BYU.
And that'll bring up now for BYU. Bree Townsend. Townsend slaps this one right back at nets. And another quick, easy out for the Wildcats. So that'll bring up now Aaliyah Agbayani. And last year she had an opportunity to play with her sister, alongside her sister. And now it's just her. And Agbayani watches that fastball hit the outside corner for strike number 1. The daughter of former Met legend Benny Agbayani. coming all the way from the 808. Nets trying to paint that outside corner, misses. And you can hear that glove popping. She is really bringing the heat.
Yeah, she's bringing the heat. The strike zone is very tight right now in this game. They got to stretch it out a little bit.
Here's the 1-1 pitch. Agbayani drives this one into right field. But again, right at the warning track. And Altmaier there to get out number 3. So another quick inning for the Wildcats, and they're going to grab their bats and try and get a couple more runs in the top of the 3rd. Now, believe me, I have had my fair share of Cougar tales probably for a couple of people's lifetimes.
I think we shared one.
Yes,
last
we did.
year at the football game.
Yeah, the two
I
foot
got
long,
yelled at.
2 foot long maple bar, just pure goodness. Dakota Kennedy trying to get on base for the first time today. And she takes that offering from Korth high. Ball 1. And Korth right now at 35 pitches. And we already saw some arms warming up in the BYU bullpen. So curious to see how long Coach Eakin's leash is for Korth. And a bunt showed and missed from Kennedy. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And of course, you don't want to try and bunt this one foul. That'll be strike 3.
Yeah, that was the first bunt she showed this time around. The first inning, it looked for sure she was going to try to lay a bunt down and beat it out, but now she's up there a little bit more as a hitter.
Coach Lowe giving some last-second orders to Kennedy. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Slapped, deflected off of Korth's glove, not in time. And that's just a tough play. I'm curious to see how they're going to rule that. A hit. I mean, that bunt, and it dies in the batter's box foul. And you see Bree Townsend already playing halfway to home plate for BYU on the 3rd base side. And she was 2 steps away from grabbing that ball.
Yeah, by the time she picked that ball up, Shockey was already to the BYU logo halfway down the left field line. She's got some wheels.
So either way, BYU defense got their hands full here. And we know that Kennedy has speed at first base as well. So the defenders for BYU have to have their mind made up before they pick up the ball. They got to know where they're going. Here's the 1-1. This one slapped to short. And Morrow not able to make a play. She had to come in, and the hop ate her up.
Yeah, this is what BYU did not.
And I think they're going to give that an error in the books. So an E6 for Haley Morrow, which is a little tough. Because even if she did field that cleanly, the speed, I don't know if she would have been able to get her at first. This ball sent high and deep into center field. Circling underneath it to make the catch. Is in the up in the batter's box. And she has an opportunity to help her own cause.
Yeah, there was no question both those runners were tagging, and I don't even think they would have got the out at second base with that deep ball. It was on the warning track, and probably the 2 fastest players on the field tagging up and go.
So now Coach Eakin is having a meeting with his defense as the pitching coach is talking things over with Case and Korth in the circle. And now the trainer is going to come out and just kind of check things out. And Jim Bertuzzi, the home plate umpire, just going to make sure everything's okay and sped up in a timely manner.
We know one thing, Nets is not coming up to bunt this ball right here. That's probably what the conversation was about out on the field.
100%. With 1 away, your cleanup batter who has an opportunity to tack on 2 more. And Korth, she's aggressive, and she gets that first pitch strike on the inside corner. So Nets awaits the 0-1 pitch. Nets swings, lifts this one. Foul, but caught by Udall Willie. And Nets, frustrated with herself, storms back into the dugout. And we've all been there. Your eyes get a little bit big. You might start overthinking things, trying to do too much. And she just missed that one.
Yeah, that ball was rising on her. You know, the minimum she wanted to do was a long fly ball and get a tag and another run across the plate.
So now Korth, who's playing with 2 outs and more confidence, gets that fastball on the outside. And U of A has Kennedy and Shockey on the bases. So a base hit could score 2. For sure 1. Runners take a little secondary lead as Korth misses outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. This would be huge for Korth's confidence to get out of this jam. Beautiful off speed for strike number 2.
Yeah, that ball just tied her up right there. She wasn't expecting that.
So now Korth takes a big deep breath, comes back in the center circle. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Misses. You gotta love the fake there from Milkowski behind the dish. She does not like that secondary lead that Shockey's given her at second.
Yeah, but I'm not so sure she's throwing the ball anywhere with that speed on base. Both
Sure.
on third and second.
Here's the 2-2 pitch. Misses high for ball 3. Count is full. BYU trying to get out of this jam. Kason Korth. The payoff pitch. Slapped. Korth can't grab it. And 1 run comes across. So Arizona gets their 3rd run. But Arizona is looking to continue to try and add on some more offense here. Miranda Stoddard, who got that big 2-run blast in the top of the 2nd inning, looking to add some more. And Stoddard watches that off speed come through for strike number 1.
Sweeney at first has no stolen base attempts this year, so it's safe to keep her right there.
Some ducks in the pond. Another off speed comes inside, and Kason Korth is ahead now. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Runners at the corners for the Wildcats. Fastball low and outside. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 on. Kason Korth rocks, fires. Milkowski trying to do that frame job like he talked about, but that ball was too low for Jim Bertuzzi. Now the count is full, so back-to-back hitters now getting full counts from Kason Korth. And Korth calls a timeout, wants to talk things over with Milkowski.
I think what they're looking about here is, you know, what are they going to do with runner at first base? She's going to be off on the pitch.
So Korth with the full count. Change up. misses high. So Stoddard is aboard with a walk. And that brings up Anissa Wild with the bases loaded. And Korth, all this with 2 outs, as Arizona is now up 6-0. And Korth comes in with the fastball for strike 1. And Jenna Sniffen, who's 0 for 1. And Sniffen looks at that outside pitch for strike number 2. Korth now at 58 pitches. And a couple arms warming up in the BYU bullpen. But Coach Eakin looking to see if Korth can get out of the jam. Oh, she buckled her for strike 3. So BYU gets out of the inning, but Arizona tacks on 4 more. BYU trails 6 here in Provo. And a miss from Maddie Udall-Woolley, the junior from Phoenix, Arizona. BYU has not gone through their full lineup yet, and Arizona's gone through it almost a couple times already. As the first baseman looks at that offering low for ball number 1.
Yeah, I do feel like BYU was close to squaring her up in the first inning in the first round, so getting into that second round is going to be very important.
First baseman chops this one to third. Sniffen gobbles it up and fires over to Stoddard. That one through a hole somewhere. She puts that one foul for strike number 1. Miranda Mansfield from Syracuse. Not the Syracuse that Carmelo Anthony went to. And a swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes. And BYU trying to find their confidence at the plate at the moment, but Nets has just been delivering. And 0-2 fastball on the outside corner gets her looking as Mansfield is retired. 2 away in the bottom of the 3rd.
Yeah, Nets' confidence continues to grow, and the glove is still popping, so she's still coming right at these BYU hitters.
So Lauren Flanders, the left fielder, now trying to get a 2-out rally started. Flanders, beautiful bunt down to third, barehanded by Sniffen. What a great play. 5. And she looks to try and get a quick 1-2-3 inning herself, and she starts ahead by getting that first pitch strike on the outside corner. And a pitching coach going to come out and have a talk with Korth.
I think the signs got crossed up there a little bit, Brandon. Coming out of the dugout to have a conversation with your pitcher at 0-1. I think there was some crossed up signs there, and he just wants to make sure that the defense is set properly. You just heard Coach Egan talk about getting the defense all squared away. I think that's what that little visit was about.
You saw a couple of fresh arms warming up in that BYU bullpen, and maybe that could have been another timeout essentially to try and get those arms a little bit more time. Either way. And that ball misses on the outside to Beal. And Beal grounded out to Haley Morrow at shortstop her last time up. Here's the 1-1. A changeup on the outside for strike number 2.
Both these pitchers' changeup is buckling the knees of the batters. None of them have made contact with those changeups yet.
And so if you are Korth, do you continue to go that route and just try and continue to go where your bread is buttered? His fastball is poked down the line, because as soon as she switches it up, Arizona's all over the fastball.
Yeah, they're scoring it up whenever she comes in the fastball, whether it's outside, inside, high, or low. They're not afraid to swing the bat. I think the other thing is you want to make sure that you get this out and not put this lefty on first base.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Korth. And this ball slapped again, foul. And so Beal stays alive.
She's shown her that high outside ball 2 times. I'm looking at maybe she's going to switch it up here and or come in down low on a lefty.
Here's the pitch. Low and outside to Beal this time, so 2 balls and 2 strikes. Beal, the junior from Folsom, California. She was the Pac-12 Defensive Player of the Year in 2024. Here's the 2-2 pitch. And again, fisted out of play, foul. And another pitch seen for this Arizona Wildcat team and also for Beal.
I'd be looking for the freeze right here.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Slapped right back to Kaysen, who throws it over and gets the first out. That brings up Dakota Kennedy now for her 3rd at bat. 1 for 2. And Kennedy right over to first. A nice easy play for Udall Woolley.
That's huge right there to keep that speed off the base. I mean, I barely caught my breath, and here she came again.
Yeah. Now bring up now Shockey. Shockey squares to bunt. Pulls it back for ball number 1. As Reagan Shockey looking to get on base for the first time today. And Arizona shocked the Cougars in the top of the 3rd, getting 4 runs on the board. This ball slapped down the 3rd base line, out of play. A little delayed sound effect from the BYU booth. Broken glass, even though it stayed in play. Shockey, the sophomore from Chino Hills, California. And she was all Pac-12 first team and all Pac-12 defensive team last year as well for these Wildcats. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Fastball outside and a miss from Korth.
She brought that ball back in up high. Pretty much every pitch has been up high. Doesn't want her to be able to slap or get a bunt and get on base.
And another off speed, misses high and outside. So 3 balls and 1 strike. Now to Shockey. Coach Eakin, like he mentioned, she's not pitching terribly. It's just there were runners that got on base and big hits were made. Here's the 3-1. This ball slapped right at Flanders in left field, and the Wildcats are retired for the to Lily Owens. And Owens watches that slider. That thing tailed super far away. Sydney Stewart doing a great job of keeping that one. The Nets with the 1-1 pitch. Missing low, so 2 balls and a strike. Lily Owens in her first at-bat grounded to second. Here's the 2-1 pitch. Ooh, the heat coming inside.
Yeah, she's challenging these batters, and it'll be very important for BYU to get some hits this second time through the lineup, square up some of these balls.
Here's the 3-1 pitch.
To the second baseman, so
Haley Morrow. Another beautiful knee buckler. Nets ahead 0-1. And this ball scorched. It fouled down the left field line into the BYU dugout.
You know, there's no change in that motion or the rotation between the fastball and or the changeup. And so it freezes you literally. I mean, I don't even catch it up here in the booth. It looks totally different. You can't get it coming off her hand. You can't get it from her hip rotation, nothing.
The 0-2 pitch to Haley Morrow. Morrow down the line, gloved by Sniffen. Great play, 5-3 put out. And Sniffen making it look easy in the hot corner. Elovea Brittingham watches that changeup coming across for a ball. It always reminds me of the video of former Arizona standout, Team USA legend, Jenny Finch, when she was throwing batting practice to Albert Pujols. And Pujols couldn't hit a ball to save his life. And this ball's in the dirt. And Brittingham, in her first at-bat, grounded to third to Sniffen. We've already seen her sniff out those balls down the line. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Hitters count. Trying to do her part and shut down the rest of these Arizona Wildcats. Kai Altmaier, who walked and flew out, watches that one come across outside for 2 balls and no strikes. Top of the 5th here in Provo, Utah. A little cloudy, but still very nice and comfortable, 72 degrees. Brandon Crow, Rick Crow, thank you for joining us here on ESPN Plus. Big 12 softball. 3 balls and no strikes to Kai Altmaier. Give shout out to our crew, our camera crew positioned all throughout. Our replay guys, our graphics operators, our producer, director. And 4 straight pitches for Kaysen Korth. And Altmaier is aboard for her second walk of the day. And Korth now at 75 pitches as Lindy Milkowski, the catcher, will try out to the circle to have a discussion with her teammate.
Just some hand signals exchanged between the dugout and the bullpen down there, so I think that they might be getting a little bit close here to a pitching change.
And just right on cue, it does look like they will make a pitching change. And we'll take a break and step aside. You're watching Big 12 softball on ESPN Plus. And her first pitch is in the dirt, which allows Altmaier to go down to second base. So Nets at the dish, trying to help her own cause. And now she has another runner in scoring position. Here's the Dally pitch, and this ball driven hard into left field, a no-doubter! Arizona tacks on 2 more. Devin Nets does it herself.
Nothing like helping your cause there with a dinger over the left field wall.
Dally pops the glove, but high. Ball number 1 to Sydney Stewart, who's 2 for 2 so far in the afternoon, and looking to make it 3 for 3. Here's the 1-0. The breaking ball misses high, 2 balls and no strikes. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Dally. This ball slapped to short, scooped up by Morrow, and Udall Woolley gets the 6-3 put out for out number 1. And Miranda Stoddard, who got the Wildcats on the board early with that home run, just got the okey doke from Kate Dally. She pulled the string on that nasty changeup. Here's the 0-1. Misses high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Low and outside for ball 2. Two balls and a strike. And another nasty changeup. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, not only did she change her eye location with the 2 high changeups and then went a fastball down and away and then came back with a higher changeup. There's a beautiful pitching sequence.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And this one fouled away. And Stoddard stays alive. Here's the 2-2 pitch. Fastball outside corner, misses for ball number 3. Now the count is full. Dally's just going to try and make sure she puts this somewhere where Stoddard can get the bat on the ball and just put it in play and let her defense do the work. Swing and a miss. Dally gets Stoddard.
And then maybe swap pitchers one more time.
So Anissa Wild. And you can hear home plate umpire Jim Bertuzzi say that was outside. So the designated player, 1 for 2 with a double and 3 RBIs. And part of that big 4-run third. And Dally really starting to dial it up here as far as the speed goes. Here's the 2-0 pitch. Changeup right in there for strike 1. Another changeup. Ooh, this one misses low.
Strike zone's been tight all day, but it has been super consistent for both sides of the ball.
Sure, very valid. And that's all you can ask for, right?
Agreed.
Here's a 3-1 pitch. Dally misses outside, so Wild is aboard with a walk. And that brings up third baseman Jenna Sniffen. She's flashed the leather so far this afternoon and looking for her first hit on the afternoon. Hard ground ball out of play. And Dowley will take that one for a strike.
She'd like to get a double play ball here. I think this is going to be the last batter that she faces, and to go out with a double play and get out of this this inning, or even one out and with no runs, is going to be an awesome win for BYU.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Low and outside for ball 1. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Another changeup misses. So 2 balls and 1 strike to the third baseman.
You know, it's tough on a reliever no matter how you come into a ball game, but not knowing where the strike zone is, how much is expanded or how much it's contracted is really, it seems to be struggling a little bit here.
And that one comes across for strike number 2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes now for Kate Dally. With 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Getting out number 3 here could be a big boost of confidence for this BYU team. Here's the 2-2. She comes upstairs with the heat and misses. So now the count is full. Here's the payoff pitch. Upstairs for ball 4. So back-to-back walks for Kate Dally. And Haley Morrow coming over from her shortstop position, trying to give some words of encouragement to her sophomore pitcher. And that'll bring up Taylor Beal, the shortstop. And actually, I think there might be a change, at least a runner. So coming in to pinch run for Wild at second base is Brooke Mannon, number 15. So Mannon will take Wild's place at second. And then here comes the BYU pitching coach. And he took one glance down at the BYU bullpen. And what do you think this conversation is?
I think they'd like to pitch their way out of this inning and get a little more time for the bullpen to come in fresh and or not use an arm unless they need to right here. So no mistakes. Let's just concentrate on getting an out, force at every corner, force at every base. Little confidence booster for her.
Kate Dally so far coming on in relief. He's thrown 23 pitches. Here's the 0-0. Fastball, inside corner.
Right at her.
Taylor Beal is 0 for 2. Grounded out to short and grounded out back to Korth, the pitcher. Here's the 0-1. Another strike. This time a changeup and a back pick down to second base. Milkowski's been wanting to throw somebody out all day.
Yeah, she's been itching to do that all day, and she definitely has a can, and she didn't hesitate, got the ball all the way down there.
You know, Kate Dally looking at her wrist. Comes set. Here's the 0-2. Swing, this one lifted out of play in the stands. And a fan had an opportunity to be a hero, and he couldn't make the catch. Here's the 0-2. Slapped over to short. Firing, and Net's trying to make it through 5. And she misses. That's probably her worst pitch we've seen her make all day. So Milkowski trying to get aboard, and she fouls that one back and out of play. And if
Came right back with a strike.
Yep.
Right. Great recovery right there. She's not going to get behind in these counts. She's going to stay even. She wants to just be done with this.
Milkowski looks at a 1-1. And that ball down to Sniffen at third. Defensive MVP today. Sniffen has had probably 3 or 4 plays that she's made that have kept BYU off the base paths.
Yeah, that was a one-hopper, belt high, scorched down the third baseline, and she's got a great arm, too. She takes her time. She knows her arm will make up for anything.
I couldn't say that. And Bree Townsend watches that pitch on the outside corner come across for strike number 1. And a PFP, pitcher's fielding practice. Nets doing it herself.
Stays ahead in the counts, defends the position well. Can't ask for much more than you've gotten from her today.
So right now, the Arizona coaching staff is coming out and having a team powwow. More specifically, talking with Nets and Sydney Stewart. And it looks like we're going to have a pinch hitter coming in for BYU. Kayla Komoku. So Komoku going to try and get aboard and try and extend BYU's gameplay today. And the first pitch from Nets misses low and outside for ball 1.
I'm sure that's what the meeting on the mound was about, was just a little scouting report on the new batter.
This ball hit to second base. Throw is in time. And Nets pitches a no-hitter, shutting out BYU 8-0. The team surrounds her. Devin Nets goes into the Arizona history books this afternoon.
Once again,
In time, and Devin Nets with the historic no-hitter here in